What if I told you that some Clash of Troops were so powerful, they actually changed the way players attacked? Some of them completely dominated the meta. Some were so broken that Supercell had to hit them with massive nerfs. And one troop on this list was so powerful that its damage was literally cut in half. Today we're counting down the 15 most broken troops in Clash of Clans history, from the troops that terrorized the meta, all the way to the one that completely changed how bases were designed. And trust me, you do not want to miss number one, because the number one troop wasn't just overpowered, it was a problem Supercell had to fix. Let's start with number 15. Top 15. Valkyrie. Remember when Valkyries didn't just attack a base, they completely erased it. Once Valkyries got close to a group of defenses, their splash damage could turn a packed compartment into an empty one in seconds. And the scary part? You didn't need some insanely complicated strategy. Get them into the core, keep them alive, and watch the defenses disappear. Supercell even kept buffing her damage in later balance changes, showing just how much her role has changed throughout Clash history. But Valkyrie wasn't even close to the most broken troop on this list. Top 14. Yeti. Yeti looked cute until an entire army of them started walking toward your town hall. The reason Yeti was so dangerous wasn't just its own damage. Every Yeti could spawn Yeti mites, creating even more destruction as the attack moved through the base. This made Yeti Smash one of those strategies that looked almost too simple. Create a powerful ground push, get the Yetis inside, and let the extra units do the dirty work. And here's the crazy part. At one point, a max-level Yeti could spawn 11 Yeti mites, but what comes next had an even bigger impact on the meta. Top 13. Witch. What if one troop could keep creating an army after you deployed it? That's exactly what made the Witch so terrifying. Skeletons constantly appeared around her, forcing defenses to deal with target after target after target. And when enough witches were grouped together, things got ridiculous. Instead of fighting one army, the defenses were basically fighting an army that kept rebuilding itself. Supercell has repeatedly adjusted the witch's stats and spawning mechanics over the years, but the next troop had something even more annoying. Top 12. Electro Dragon. One chain, multiple buildings, and suddenly your entire compartment is in trouble. That's the magic of the Electro Dragon. Its chain attack meant that placing buildings too close together could actually become a weakness, and that's what made E-Drag spam so recognizable. You didn't always need perfect funneling or complicated troop management. Sometimes you just needed enough dragons and enough patience. But this next troop didn't need to fly to cause chaos. Top 11. Miner. Imagine a troop that could simply disappear whenever defenses tried to kill it. That's the Miner. Instead of walking through walls, the Miner went under them. That completely changed how players could approach a base, and when Miners were combined with Hog Riders, the famous hybrid strategy was born, giving players a way to attack different sections of a base with incredible consistency. But now we're entering the troops that genuinely changed the way bases were designed. Top 10. Bowler. The Bowler had one simple rule. If buildings lined up, they were going down. His rock doesn't stop at the first target. It continues forward, damaging everything in its path. That made compact bases incredibly dangerous to attack against, because one throw could damage multiple buildings at once. But then Supercell decided to make the Bowler even crazier. Top 9. Super Witch. What happens when a witch decides that normal skeletons aren't enough? You get Super Witch. Instead of constantly producing tiny skeletons, she could create powerful big boys, giving ground attacks a completely different kind of pressure. The result? Huge amounts of HP, constant pressure, and an army that could keep moving forward while defenses struggled to eliminate everything. But Super Witch isn't even close to the top of our list. Top 8. Super Dragon. Take a dragon, make it tougher, make it stronger, and give it even more destructive power. That's basically the Super Dragon. Its huge HP pool meant defenses couldn't get rid of it quickly, while its damage allowed it to tear through buildings as the army moved forward. This is why Super Dragon attacks could look terrifyingly simple. A group of massive dragons enters the base, and suddenly the defenses are running out of answers. But the next troop became famous for a completely different reason. Top 7. Super Archer. This troop doesn't need to destroy the entire base to be broken. Sometimes, it only needs one perfect opening. Super Archers became especially dangerous when used inside a blimp because their long-range attacks could create huge value if they were dropped in the right place. One successful entry could completely change the rest of an attack, and that's exactly why even a single Super Archer blimp can make a defender nervous. And now, we're getting to the monsters. Top 6. Balloon. Few troops in Clash have survived as many different metas as the Balloon. It looks simple. Fly toward a defense, drop a bomb, destroy it. But that simplicity is exactly what made balloons so powerful. Combine enough of them with the right support, and defenses can disappear incredibly quickly. Balloon has remained relevant through multiple Town Hall eras, but the next troop has something Balloon doesn't. It can jump over the walls. Top 5. Hog Rider. If Clash of Clans had a Hall of Fame, Hog Rider would probably already have a statue. Hog Rider has been part of iconic strategies for years, from old-school hog attacks to go-ho and eventually hybrid combinations. His ability to jump over walls and prioritize defenses made him one of the most reliable ways to break through a base. And what's crazy is that Supercell has kept adjusting him throughout the years. But the next troop took the idea of jumping over walls to another level. Top 4. Dragon. The Dragon is one of the few troops that can make a beginner feel like a pro. Drop a group of dragons, point them toward the base, and watch the destruction begin. But don't mistake simplicity for weakness. Dragons have repeatedly returned to the meta, receiving new levels and stat changes as town halls evolved. And after more than a decade, the Dragon is still here, but the final 3 troops are on another level. Top 3. Super Miner. The normal miner was already annoying. Then Supercell asked, what if we made it even stronger? Enter the Super Miner. Suddenly, a troop that already ignored walls became an even bigger threat. Its ability to burrow underground makes it extremely difficult for defenses to deal with efficiently, and that's the real strength of Super Miner. It doesn't fight the base the way most troops do. It goes underneath the problem. But the next troop doesn't go under walls. It simply destroys them. Top 2. Super Bowler. Remember the bowler's biggest advantage? One throw could hit multiple buildings. Now imagine giving him an extra bounce. That's Super Bowler. Its rock can hit a total of 3 times, turning tightly packed defenses into a giant bowling lane. Super Bowler can create an insane amount of value from a single troop, and when you combine that with a powerful ground army, things get ridiculous. But there is still one troop that made even Super Bowler look reasonable. Top 1. Root Rider. And here we are. The troop that didn't just become strong, it changed the meta. When Root Rider arrived at Town Hall 15, she had one ridiculous advantage. Walls basically stopped mattering. Her favorite targets were defenses, and she could smash through walls while moving toward them. High HP, high damage, wall destruction, defense targeting. Put all of that together. And suddenly bases had to be designed differently just to slow her down. And then came the biggest proof that Root Rider was too strong, the nerfs. In February 2024, Supercell reduced Root Rider's HP. Then in June, the DPS at level 1 was cut from 190 to just 95. Literally half. When a troop gets hit with nerfs that brutal, you know it wasn't just another strong troop. It was a problem the developers had to fix. And that's exactly why Root Rider takes the #1 spot. And there you have it. The 15 most broken troops in Clash of Clans history. From Valkyries and Witches dominating the ground, to miners and hogs changing the way players attacked, and finally Root Riders completely changing the meta. But here's the real question. Which troop do you think was the most broken in Clash of Clans history? Was it the Root Rider, the Super Bowler? Or do you think we've missed a troop that deserves a spot on this list? Let me know your pick in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe because there's a lot more Clash of Clans content coming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.